As creators over 40, we know that connection matters, but on YouTube, there's a really big difference between audience and building a community. Here are 7 ways to hear, see, and feel the differences between audience and community. Number 1 is transactional versus relational loyalty. With an audience, people watch your videos because they offer value. Maybe it's tutorials or entertainment, but their loyalty is based on what they can get out of it. And if someone else is better, they offer that content in a more engaging kind of way, they might switch. That's audience. With community, these viewers stick around because of you and not just the content. Because let's face it, we can get content, we can get information anywhere from a lot of people, right? They appreciate your unique voice, your personality, and your approach. And even if your content shifts slightly, they stay because they feel like they know you, because they're connected to you. An example is an audience will watch your tech tutorials, for example, but a community tunes in because they trust your recommendations, enjoy your personality, and want to see what you're going to do next. They want to see what else you got. They want to see all your silly stuff and your cups and your plum and boysenberry. Number 2 is passive versus active influence. With an audience, you create content based on your strategy. If you had a strategy, do as I say, not as I do. Okay, I don't have a strategy. I'm still working on my pillars over here. And they consume it. Their role is mostly passive. They might like and leave a comment, but their input doesn't shape your channel in any way. Whereas a community, they actively influence your channel. You might ask for their opinions, create polls, or even tailor content based on their questions, their comments, and the problems that they're having. They feel like they have a say in what happens next, because they do. An example is a travel vlogger who will post about the trips that they're doing, whereas a vlogger with a community will ask, where should I go next? And they will base their trips based on what people are asking for or suggesting, or, whatever the polls have gone and said. Number 3 is one-way versus multi-way conversations. An audience will consume your content, but they don't necessarily engage beyond that. And they might leave comments, but those comments don't always lead to ongoing discussions. Like within people. I heard a really cool analogy the other day about creators with a community, and every video they post up is like opening the door just a little bit more for people to come in to like a dance hall and just have fun together and mingle, hang out, fun. But anyway, I really like that analogy. Yeah, so which leads me to the community example where conversations are happening between you and them, but also among them. They're chatting together. They don't actually need you. It's nice to have you there, but isn't that great? Don't we see that? Don't we see that in our community? I love that. It's magic. It's completely magic. So yeah, so the community are replying to each other in the comments, but also like they're having live chat conversations on the lives. They might be discussing your content outside of YouTube, like on social media or emails or just DMs or in a Facebook group. That's a community. That's when you know you've got a community. Okay. The example that I thought of was a cooking channel who gets recipe requests in the comments, whereas a cooking channel with a community has subscribers sharing their own recipes or tweaks on the recipes or even just improvements or absolutely the recipes. Like, they want to help a sister and a brother out, and they do. And yeah, that is really something. Number 4 is disposable versus long-term value. Wow, that's pretty harsh, isn't it? Disposable. So the audience, they watch your video, they get what they need and move on. They might not even return unless they get more of the same kind of content. But the community watch because they want to be part of your world. So even if they don't get exactly the information that they need from your particular video that day, they'll watch it because they like you and they enjoy the space that you've built. An example is a financial advice channel. If they've got an audience, they'll get views when people need budgeting tips. That's when they're tuning in, when people need particular problems solved at that time. So that's that whole thing about YouTube being the world's 2nd biggest search engine. People are using YouTube to problem solve, aren't they? So another example is editing problems, like tech problems that we're having. As beginner YouTubers, we're tuning in. Like I am going bang, bang, sticking the search terms in there, how to shift a clip quickly in Premiere Pro. And when I open it up, I'm looking for the most views and I'm looking for the fastest amount of time, because time is the currency in our lives here. When we are editing, we are time pressed, we are time pushed, and we are losing our hair and our marbles and just really basically our sanity. If truth be told, we are losing our sanity when we are feeling desperate and just upset while we're editing and something goes wrong. I know you're relating. I know you are. Whereas a financial advice channel with a community are going to tune in and they're going to watch that video regardless if they need that advice at that particular time, because they just want to check in with that creator. They want to see what they've been up to, and they just enjoy that creator's approach. And also I think there is some comfort and some familiarity, and seeing that creator regularly is comforting. I particularly like the word comforting because that's how it feels to me. That's why I can watch videos about things that I don't particularly have interest in, but when I watch creators that I really enjoy, I enjoy seeing them get joy, and I enjoy learning something from them. And I wonder, why do they like doing that particular thing? Don't have any experience of that. I don't have to know about naked 10-pin bowling in the wintertime. If you like naked 10-pin bowling in the wintertime, I'm here for you. I am here for you. I'm going to tune in, and because I want to know, convince me. I want you to convince me. All right. So yeah, that's a really good example of audience versus community. Number 5 is content consumption versus contribution. An audience will consume what you put out, but they're not going to contribute beyond that. It's a taking kind of relationship. It's a definite one-way street. Like, we're going for editing advice. We want to know how to solve a problem in Canva. We're just going there. We just want bang, diddy, bang, diddy, bang. And we are just, I don't have any loyalty to that creator. I'm just in problem solving mode. So I'm definitely relating to that completely transactional consume. And I want to make that time count. People who are doing tutorials and don't understand the nature of when people are going to come for that tutorial are risking getting a video starts at 3 minutes 15. Just hypothetically, if you were that kind of rude person that leaves comments like that. But I have to be feeling a bit toey to actually leave a comment like that. So I try not to, because that is rude, actually. It is rude. With the people who are viewing your content and enjoying your content, rooting for you as well, because there is a really, really big difference between support and care. Are you supporting a channel, or do you care about another channel? So the community will share their own stories, give feedback, create fan content, or even collaborate with you in meaningful ways that benefits you and benefits them. That's that difference between care and support. And that is another reason why I really don't like those crummy done and waiting. I actually said to someone the other day,
"What does that mean, done and waiting?"
And then I did actually say to them, please do unsubscribe from me, because
you're hurting me over here, pal.
So yeah, just, we're not the same niche. So I think it's not me, it's you, because I didn't ask for you to kind of do the thing, the fake number plumping, because the numbers don't mean everything. Of course they're a factor. They absolutely are a factor with the numbers of subscribers that you need for monetization. And also it is a signal to brands in the future when channels get bigger. Whereas a fitness channel with a community will have people posting, for example, their progress. They'll share workout results and they'll support each other's journeys. I would also add to that they are prepared to be, vulnerable to at least a certain extent with each other, because, they're rooting for each other. They recognize that they are part of a tribe and they value being part of that tribe. When we're over 40, we've seen quite a bit of life, and we've seen what, enriches relationships and helps relationships and grows relationships and strengthens relationships. Yeah, we've seen a little bit of life, and we are really happy to embrace, new relationships that, we just like the feel of. We like the look of it, the sound of it, the feel of it, all of that stuff. So That's what I like about this community, and I'm sure you do too. I think we're definitely in our over 40 niche. I think that we are definitely all about community rather than just sort of short. We consume, we are audiences of a lot of channels, no doubt about that. For sure, I think people are definitely picking their audience channels that they follow versus the ones that they are just really part of that tribe, an important part of the tribe. So number 6 is personal perception versus personal identity. So an audience, they might enjoy your content privately, but it's not part of their identity. And they don't necessarily see themselves as part of the group. Whereas community, they identify with being in your space that you have created, or I should say, they enjoy being part of the space that you and others and them, everyone has created together. Yeah, I think that's more it. They enjoy the space that the people within that community have all worked to create. Yep, I think that's the magic sauce, isn't it? That's the truth. That's the truth. It's not one creator creating a community. It is the community creating the community. And yeah, enjoying being part of that. And the audience doesn't necessarily see themselves as part of a group. If I think about when I was doing my perfume reviews, I can think quite quickly about a couple of channels. One of them is a really, really big channel, and the creator, she is a really amazing person and she's got a really incredible channel. But that is a definite audience channel. I've sort of gotten the impression that, people might be a little bit uptight. The people that might, I don't know, I just don't get, I've never got from seeing the comments in that creator's channel that it's a community. And I have seen that creator try and build a community off YouTube platform and onto an app. And yeah, I'm just not quite sure how that's going, but it's, definitely that person's got a really, really big business. Whereas another creator, she is quite all about, community, and people are definitely fellowshipping with each other within the comments and everything, and they're there for each other. So that is public perception versus the personal identity. So the community identifies as being part of the space that has been created by many creators and themselves. Sometimes people in a community might call themselves a name, for example, if we think about who's our Cumberbatch guy? Cumberbitches, Lady Gaga. What about the Swifties? Brenda, I think I've heard you call them Swifties. Brenda's a Swiftie. So yeah, you can correct me, Brenda, if that's not quite right. But we know what we mean. Lady Gaga, what are her people called? Little monsters. Okay, right. Okay. So it's that sense of belonging. An example is a YouTube channel with an audience with casual viewers. So they're popping in, popping out. They might never go back there again. They don't care. They're not going to like your video. They're just in a hurry. They just need the information. And off they go. Whereas a YouTube channel with a community has people proudly saying, I've been here since the beginning, or, remember when you had 5 subscribers and, go you, because look, now you've got 50, or now you've got 500, or you've got 5,000. So that is community. And finally, we've got metrics versus meaningful impact. With an audience, the growth is measured in numbers. We are looking hard at our YouTube studio for the numbers. The numbers are telling the story. It's kind of like accounting. It's the accountancy approach. It is views, subscribers, and watch time. And success can feel like hitting a milestone. And yep, that is the same with a community type of channel as well. It's not all, altruistic. Obviously, everyone wants to grow the YouTube channel, and there is a lot of excitement about hitting milestones. But I always say find ways to fall in love with the inputs, because if you just love doing all the inputs, and if the more you can reduce the friction for making videos, and we've all got a whole bunch of friction when it comes to trying to make videos and come up with ideas, record them, edit them, do all the blah, 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 all the other stuff. If we can fall in love with the inputs, the outputs will take care of themselves, because it's a slow growth here on the Noob Tube. And I also like to talk about a grain of sand in the Sahara Desert. That's the size of our channels when we start. If we aren't graced by the YouTube algorithm gods and go on the easy mode and boom, boom, shaka, in 30 days, we're like swinging from the chandeliers. Whereas community success is measured by engagement. How much people actually care. Even with a smaller audience, if people are deeply engaged, they'll share your content, they will like and comment and share your content, and they will stick around for years, not just because they want to support you, but because they actually care. And that, my friend, is called true impact. An example is a YouTuber focused on audience building. Okay, right. They might obsess on getting over 10,000 subs. And we're all obsessing, do not get me wrong, of, one day achieving the 10,000 subs. But is that the main thing? Because if it's the main thing, I think there are some, black hat, some dark methods, aren't there, for getting subscribers. And it's not just the whole small channels gather here, but what is that thing? What is that thing that I hear people talking about where they say a little bit of famester? Oh my goodness, I've got no idea what that is. But I hear people talk about a little bit of famester really helped me. And I just think to myself, did you just buy subscribers? Did you just buy just like a lot of, just fake phone numbers like that? Like, what's the point? What's the point? Okay. Whereas a YouTuber with a community focus might have only 500 subs or 5,000 subs, but they're a dedicated group of supporters who watch every video and will spread the word. They will tell people, like, I'm going to give you an example. Like, Ran, I just really love the shout outs that people do. And just shouting out myself here, I shouted out Mrs. Paula today because she's just a scream, and so many creators are just so funny in our niche, and it's good times. It is fun, rollicking times. So anyway, that is it. That is 7 ways. I really, really hope that you got something out of that and you heard something that was helpful to you, providing value. But yeah, here's the wrap. An audience can give you numbers, but in the long run, a community gives you long-term sustainability, which is what this platform is all about. And it is great when channels blow up really, really fast, but most of us do not blow up really, really fast. But it's just really common sense in a way too, isn't it? Like when people care about each other, people feel seen, and it can be just so anonymous here on this platform, can't it? Parting final words. An audience will give you numbers, vanity metrics, whereas a community will give you long-term sustainability.